Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to RSBN Live. I'm Matthew Alvarez. At 1 o'clock Eastern, the president greets lifeguard Ryder Williams. That event is currently closed to the press. If it opens, we're here for it. Now, specifics surrounding that daring rescue include that on July 25th, just last month, 16-year-old rookie California State Parks lifeguard Ryder Williams performed a dramatic rescue of 10-year-old Nathaniel Rye. This happened at the Seabright State Beach in Santa Cruz, California. We have a video from The Guardian when it comes to that rescue. Let's take a look at clip number 1A. There you go. That happened on July 25th out there in California. 10-year-old Nathaniel Rye saved by Ryder Williams. He's a rookie California State Parks lifeguard. Well, he is going to be at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue today at the Oval Office. That's a 1 o'clock Eastern event, currently closed to the press. If it opens up and we see Ryder there, great. If not, well, I'm sure there'll be some clips that the White House will post about it, but looking forward to possibly seeing that at 1 o'clock. We have a lot of work to get to, of course, here on the network tomorrow. Huge day in politics, especially in the Sunshine State. We'll have some live interviews from some of the gubernatorial candidates. We have reached out to a number of them, so we're waiting on confirmation for a few of them. But in the meantime, let's go to President Trump as he spoke to the press pretty recently within the 24/7 news cycle in clip number 1.
Good, a very good show. The headline today, does everybody know Caroline? She's with us? The headline today is exactly that. You see it? It says prescription drug prices record sharpest drop in more than 60 years. Okay, got it? Everybody have it? And I told you that was going to happen. The second headline is this. It says Trump administration marks 15 straight months with zero border releases as apprehensions plunge 94%. In other words, the border, and that means for 15 straight months we had zero people crossing the border. Are you impressed? Is anybody impressed? You are. Thank you. I'll give you the first question therefore. Go ahead. Go ahead. Anybody?
Mr. Joe, what do you hope to accomplish this weekend?
I have a lot of things that are happening. A lot of good things. The economy is doing unbelievably from the standpoint of Wall Street. We just set another record. 80 times where we're the best market in history. And that's good for 401ks, and it's good for a lot of things, but it's great for 401ks. I I always say it's good for 401ks and stuff. So we hit number 80 record. So 80 days out of a short 1.5 years. We have a record stock market. 401ks have set a new record. And you take a look at the border, 15 months, 0 people coming through our southern border. Pretty amazing. And drug prices again. Prescription drug prices down more than at any time over 60 years. Okay, what else do I have to say?
Family members of U.S. service members are concerned about the conditions on board the USS Lincoln.
Oh, no, that ship is moving. No, they're not. That ship is moving right now, or very shortly, and it's being replaced with another very similar ship.
Has the deployment gone on too long? Are you worried about the mental health concerns?
Not nearly long enough. Thank you, everybody.
All right, so that was the most recent press availability with the Commander-in-Chief. Again, we may see him at 1 o'clock today with that lifeguard, Ryder Williams, so we'll see if that opens up at 1 o'clock. And then, of course, after that, usually, of course, the President will take questions from the press. As we continue our live broadcast here, we are, again, 1 day away from a huge primary election in 3 states, Alaska, Wyoming, and of course a lot of people keeping their eye on Florida as well. We'll get to some more details on the Sunshine State and that gubernatorial race there. We'll see who wins the Republican primary. In the meantime, before we get to some sponsors here on Right Side Broadcasting Network, the United States Coast Guard, what would we do without them, especially if you're stranded out there in the Atlantic or the Gulf of America or the Pacific Ocean or a lake or a river or whatever? Or how about a flooding situation? These guys and gals are rock stars. Let's go to clip number 2.
Okay, I'm recording.
What does a normal work week look like?
There's really no normal week for a public affairs specialist in the Coast Guard.
Whether it's dealing with the media, writing press releases, taking photos.
They're in charge of telling the Coast Guard story across the nation.
The way that people consume media has definitely changed.
People are seeing it live in real time on social media and the news.
That shift meant the Coast Guard needed a dedicated team focused on producing high-quality video content.
The video production team is a force multiplier. We're tasked with capturing and delivering the service's most impactful missions through high-quality video content.
So the process of how we make videos starts right here at Coast Guard headquarters.
This is where we go over what the video is going to look like, we come up with the interview questions, and we go over the script.
Once we do that, we book all our travel, load up, and from there is the fun part.
One day you can be rappelling down a cliff, the other day you could be in a helicopter or deployed on a cutter.
It means having access to all these incredible stories taking place in the service. We try to do as much as we can while we're out there. Sometimes it's as standard as sitting down with someone and getting a really great interview. It's all part of the fun. Post-production is that little extra sauce that we put on top where the story really comes together.
At the end of the day, the goal of the VPT is to tell the Coast Guard story and to do it in a way that the Coast Guard hasn't done before.
I've really enjoyed being able to go out, work with really great people, and tell the story in a way that people really respond to.
The Marine Corps, the Navy, the Army, all those branches, they have their own specialized video production teams. And now the Coast Guard does too.
Good. Cut. Cut.
Pretty cool to see some of the inside baseball. It takes a team and, for us to highlight it as well. Why not? Because we see some of the great things that happen day in and day out with the Coast Guard there. So great video put on by their press team I believe, in D.C. We'll see where they work. I'm sure it's all across the country. In the meantime, let's go to a few of our live sponsors here on Right Side. We've talked about All Family Pharmacy before, and there's a reason we keep returning to them. In my opinion, they're one of the best pharmacies in the country. You might ask why? Well, because they believe Americans should have more freedom and more choice when it comes to their health care. They stand for medical freedom and work to make trusted medications easier to access without all of the unnecessary runaround. When life throws you a curveball and your health suddenly becomes the priority, you want a pharmacy that's ready to help. From connecting you with licensed medical providers when appropriate, to fast shipping options, to knowledgeable support when you have questions, All Family Pharmacy is there when you need them. They have a full catalog of more than 400 medications, from everyday essentials to antibiotics, ivermectin, N80+, GLP-1 options, peptides, all the medications you may want to have on hand. It's the kind of company you hope you never need in an emergency, but you're glad it's there if you do. Check them out and find the medications you may need for your family. All you have to do is go to allfamilypharmacy.com/ you see there biohacking, or /RSBN, of course, and you can use that promo code for 10% off. You can also give them a call at 561-717-6794. Again, that's 561-717-6794. allfamilypharmacy.com/biohacking. Also use that RSBN 10 promo code. Great sponsor here on Right Side. Let's go to another one. Of course, we don't wait until a house fire happens to install a smoke detector, and we don't wait until the wind and rain hammer your windows and the power goes out to prepare for a hurricane. And we don't reach for our seatbelt after the impact, because after the crash or the hurricane or the house fire, it's just too late. Within that framework, we don't wait until the dollar goes to zero before we buy gold. It's just too late then. So you can diversify with precious metals now, because you never know what will threaten your savings next. Persistent inflation, a weakening dollar, unexpected financial disruptions. You don't know what's coming, but you can take a preventative step, and you can do that right now by requesting a free info kit on gold from our friends at Birch Gold Group. Just text Trump to that number, 989898. No cost, no obligation, just straightforward information on how you can diversify your savings, even an IRA or 401k with gold. We trust Birch Gold. You can trust them too. Text Trump to 989898. Great sponsor here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. Let's go to that live picture there. Of course, in Washington, D.C., quite hot and humid. Of course, we're in the deep south down here in the southeast in Alabama, and I'm pretty sure it's dang hot up there too in Washington, D.C. and across the country. I looked at some of the temps yesterday in Vegas and in Phoenix, and of course out there in the desert, pushing that 110 to 115 for highs. So that's the way it is in the summer. We know that. Anyway, outside of that, speaking of summer, and didn't really bring up this yet, but Grand Prix or Indy cars and all of that, well, that's about to happen right there in the nation's capital. Let's look at clip number 3.
Freedom 250 Grand Prix is now just a few weeks away. It's something that we've never seen before.
Here's the deal. I'm the best there is, plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I'm just excellent.
Freedom won't just ring this summer, it will also rev.
The historic course will showcase the country's most iconic buildings and monuments.
Just a big, hairy American winning machine. You ain't first, you're last.
Game's over. I'll never see it again. Why not? To the beach.
And speaking of automobiles, so over the weekend at one of the auto parts stores here in Alabama, and I walk in and I see an older gentleman behind the desk that works at this auto store, and he's wearing a really cool hat. He's wearing, it's kind of like well, I have it actually right here. He has the American flag on one side, the Gadsden split there, the "Don't Tread on Me," right? So I point at his hat. I say, "Hey, nice hat." As I'm, I just walk by. "Hey, nice hat." He goes, "Actually, if you stop by tomorrow, I'll give you one." And I said, "What are you talking about?" He says, "Well, I used to sell all these hats at flea markets, and I just don't have time to do it anymore." And I said, "That's awesome." I said, "Well, watch RSBN." So Robert, if you're watching, thanks so much for this awesome hat right here. The American flag and the "Don't Tread on Me." Very cool stuff. Anyway, let's shift gears back over to maybe this. How about phones, right? Well, Howard Lutnick and the Apple CEO Tim Cook just had a meeting recently. Let's take a look at the next clip. I believe that's clip number 4 here on Right Side.
It's exciting that right down the road, a minute away, Apple will manufacture the first Mac Mini right here in the United States. This is what it looks like to bring American manufacturing home. This is factories coming home. This is technology coming home. This is American manufacturing coming home. And this is Apple leading the charge by building a training center right here in Texas and doing it. So thank you, Tim. This is the beginning of the golden age of America. This is the renaissance of advanced manufacturing in America, and I'm delighted that Apple's leading the charge. Thank you. Apple!
All right, so that was that recent meeting with the Apple CEO Tim Cook and, of course, the Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick. Okay, so again, tomorrow is the big day in a number of states: Wyoming, Alaska, and of course, in the Sunshine State, Florida. Let's go there now as one of the candidates for Florida governor joins us, James Fishback. Don't see him right there on the air, so maybe what we'll do is we'll take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back here on Right Side Broadcasting Network.
It's Silk from Diamond and Silk Chit Chat Live. Look, don't forget to watch my show right here at Right Side Broadcasting Network, and I want you to support Right Side Broadcasting Network. It's imperative that you do so, okay? Bye-bye.
Welcome to Right Side Broadcasting Network, your trusted conservative news outlet. At RSBN, we deliver the truth when the mainstream media falls short. Since 2015, we've proudly broadcasted every single one of President Trump's iconic MAGA rallies, bringing you the excitement and energy live before anyone else. By watching RSBN, you get an unfiltered front row view of the action on the ground. We interview the crowds to give a voice to millions of Americans just like you. We show you President Trump's speeches in their entirety, free from interruptions and censorship. We cover the stories that matter to you with the integrity and passion you deserve. Thank you for choosing RSBN as your home for America First News. Together, we stand strong, united, and informed. So join us and be part of the right side of history.
MyPillow's second annual mega sale is finally here. Get our patented premium MyPillows that adjust your exact individual needs to give you the best sleep of your life.
When I got MyPillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
I guarantee they're going to be the most comfortable pillows you'll ever own. King size only $24.98, queen size only $19.98. Giza Dream bed sheets, the best sheets in history, as low as $29.98. Lux Pierce 6-piece towel sets, towels that actually dry you. What a concept. Now only $39.98. And our made in the USA mattresses and mattress toppers as low as $99.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our second annual mega sale. Plus free shipping options available when you order today. So don't delay, order now.
All right, welcome back to Right Side Broadcasting Network. Let's go now to Florida. James Fishback, candidate for Florida governor. Thanks so much for joining us, James.
Great to be here.
Definitely. All right, so we were reaching out to a number of the candidates there in Florida. Tomorrow is a huge day, as you know. Let's talk about your campaign. How's everything been going?
It's going great. We're taking that same Trump grassroots energy from 2016. We're the only campaign that's held town halls in all 67 counties. Florida voters want a fighter like Trump has been, like DeSantis has been, and I'm signing up to be that fighter tomorrow. I'm asking for your vote.
Well, it sounds like a good, solid 1-2 punch when it comes to Ron DeSantis and Donald Trump, and then now James Fishback as an opportunity here for the gubernatorial nominee. Now, when you look at your other candidates there that we see Byron Donalds, we see Paul Renner, we see Jay Collins. How do you size up with those guys?
They're all, but at the end of the day, it's time for an outsider. My opponents collectively have 3 decades of political experience. If they had a plan to bring down insurance premiums, to fix the crime that's plaguing large parts of our state, if they had a plan to eliminate property taxes, the question deserves to be asked, Why haven't they done it already? They're in power. We now need someone from the outside who's going to go in there and shake up the system like Ronald Reagan did, like Ron DeSantis did, and like Donald Trump is doing today. And I'm asking Florida voters to elect a lifelong Floridian, a businessman, a Christian, a husband, and a soon-to-be father to be that fighter for our state.
James, can you tell us about before you decided to run for governor, what was it that made you do that?
Well, I'll tell you, I would not be in this race if Ron DeSantis could run for a third term, because Ron DeSantis is the greatest governor in Florida history. My choice to enter this race was based on the fact that my wife and I looked at each other and we said, this is not the state that we grew up in. Farmland is disappearing. AI data centers and flock cameras are being put on every single corner of our state, and we must stop back before it's too late. That's why I joined this race. I'm the only candidate who's a business owner. I know what it takes to run a business, and I'm asking for the opportunity to fight for our state.
And finally, James, the next 24 hours, what's the game plan for you?
So I will be door knocking this afternoon. I'll be calling another 250 undecided voters later today, and I'll host the final rally of our historic primary campaign in America's sweetest town, Clewiston, the heart of the sugarcane industry here in Florida. And then tomorrow, my running mate and I will be personally visiting 20 campaign precinct locations, making the closing arguments to Florida voters in Tampa.
Awesome. James Fishback, candidate for Florida governor. James, thank you so much. Good luck tomorrow. We'll be watching and see who comes out on top.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. All right, so there's one of the candidates there. Paul Renner will be joining us later in the broadcast. We've also reached out to Jay Collins, the lieutenant governor candidate. Of course, he's lieutenant governor currently for Florida, and we'll see if they'll reach back out. We also reached out to the Byron Donalds camp as well. So, you know, getting the full scope of things. We also have a few videos from all of the candidates, at least the ones that haven't confirmed yet with us, but we want to make sure we're balanced on our pitch here when it comes to the coverage for the four candidates that are getting a lot of the traction. Of course, Byron Donalds, seeing reports of him leading all of that with the Trump endorsement, but we'll be watching it as you guys are in Florida as well. Let's go to a few of our sponsors in the meantime here on Right Side. Kalshi is one of them, kalshi.com/RSBN, and that is one of the topics I'm sure is on kalshi.com that people are betting, trading, and checking out the polls. Who's going to win the Republican nomination for governor in Florida? We'll see what happens, and that'll be tomorrow for that primary election. So by tomorrow night into Wednesday, we'll have a really good idea. Hopefully, we'll know by tomorrow night. This isn't California, if you know what I mean, with all the mail-in ballots. Anyway, so looking forward to seeing the outcome there. And those are the kind of things that people are going to Kalshi for, checking out all sorts of polls like that, even outside of politics. Great sponsor there, kalshi.com/RSBN. Let's go to covepure.com/RSBN as well, as we are live here on Right Side. You know, most of us know there's chlorine in our tap water. We can sometimes smell it, then shrug, then drink it anyway, because we've been told it's what keeps our water safe. But what they don't tell you is what chlorine becomes after it's added to your water, and that's why it's so important to filter your water through Cove Pure. We're told chlorine itself isn't even the biggest problem. Chlorine levels in your water are regulated, but what's not regulated are chemicals that form when chlorine reacts with naturally occurring organic matter from rivers, soil, and plant matter. So when chlorine interacts with those particles, it creates chemical byproducts called THMs. The government itself calls THMs probable human carcinogens, and they've been linked to disruption of your gut and to cancer. So those pitcher filters that you see at the store, they won't fix this. They improve the taste of chlorine, but THMs require something far more powerful, and that's exactly what Cove Pure is. Their ClearWave reverse osmosis technology is certified to remove up to 99.9% of contaminants. So it's not just chlorine or THMs, fluoride, PFAs, pharmaceuticals, all get removed as well. So basically, if it isn't water, Cove Pure removes it. And this thing doesn't take up much room at all. Sits right there on the countertop. All you do is plug it in. And the best part is you can just, with the tap of a button, get hot, cold, or warm water instantly. And finally, the feedback on Cove Pure from our viewers has been incredible. People have told us they can literally taste the difference, as clean water is one of the best investments you can make for you and your family's health. Right now, they're giving all of our viewers $250 off if you use our link. So just go to covepure.com/RSBN, covepure.com/RSBN. Drink pure, Live Pure, Cove Pure. Good stuff right there as we are approaching the bottom of the hour on this hot, hazy, and humid Monday, especially on the southeast side and the northeast side of our country. Dry heat out there for you in Arizona and Nevada and California, we know. Anyway, we will have, again, more coverage about the Florida primary election coming up, specifically the gubernatorial candidates that are running. We'll have some footage coming up in just a little bit. In the meantime, let's go to one of our next clips here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. I believe it's clip number 8, as one of the things that we're seeing is when the world's biggest sporting event came to the U.S., the National Guard's civil support teams were ready to defend the homeland. Let's go to clip number 8.
The FIFA World Cup was an amazing opportunity where we got to work alongside of several other states and their CSTs, as well as local fire department and police departments.
Hey Guard Nation, General Steve Nordhaus here in Nebraska. We got the civil support team and Sergeant Peterson. You're doing amazing work on that. Tell me what you do here.
Sir, on a day-to-day function, I serve as our admin and COIC. My job on mission is to make sure we get our people in and out of the zone and make sure that they're decontaminated and ready to continue in the fight.
Now, Sergeant Peterson, you have a family history in the National Guard. Tell me why you joined.
Yes, sir. I joined. I had 2 uncles that were first sergeants, retired, and they were very influential in my decision to join the National Guard. I've gotten amazing benefits. I got to go to college for free. I have a degree, and I got to be in this organization, which has provided great relationships. I have 2 daughters, and I love that they get to see what I get to do on a daily basis, and the opportunities are endless, and I'm very excited for my future, sir.
Your National Guard's 435,000 strong, and we are always ready.
Always there.
We are a huge fan of the National Guard here at Right Side Broadcasting Network, especially because they're in D.C., and we've seen those numbers go dramatically down. The crime numbers, there's a lot more safety, there's a lot of great things that have happened in Washington, D.C., thanks to President Trump. But also, outside of that, we're looking at a number of 24/7 news cycle stories here on Right Side. Let's go now to the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, who put out this video recently about the future of our country. Let's go to clip number 5.
Hey everyone, this is Scott Turner. I'm here with my colleague and brother, Secretary Bobby Kennedy from HHS. We're here at the Orange County Rescue Mission. This is a place that is doing incredible work. They look at the person holistically, physically, mentally, spiritually, to get them housed and transformed and healed into a life of self-sufficiency. We also saw the theme earlier today at the Dream Center in LA. Another faith-based entity that is holistically bringing people in to get them healed and transformed, not just housing them and letting them go, but housing them and putting the axe head to the root cause of homelessness, Bobby, which is mental illness and drug addiction. The Dream Center is doing a wonderful job. Orange County Rescue Mission, thank you for all the great work you're doing.
Today we got a primer, a seminar, if you will, in faith-based healing. And we saw the extraordinary successes of these 2 facilities. The Dream Center in Los Angeles, which has 600 patients, homeless people from Skid Row, it turns nobody down. It takes care of 6,000 volunteers coming in from universities and churches all over the country. They've rebuilt this extraordinary facility, a hospital that's 450,000 square feet. They do it all on private donations.
Grateful for my friend Bobby Kennedy from HHS to HUD across this administration under President Trump's leadership. We no longer say success is just housing people. Success is getting people healed and transformed into a life of self-sustainability. So grateful for Bobby, his team, our team at HUD. Great days ahead, and grateful to all of our faith-based entities that are doing holistic training around our country for the most vulnerable people in America. God bless you.
God bless.
Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. It must be fought for. It must be protected. It must be taught, passed along to the next generation. 35 years ago, Republicans and Democrats in Congress, they were fighting communism on a distant shore. Now it's here. This is a contrast election between common sense and crazy, and increasingly that's what the other side represents. CSA published their platform. They want to pack the Supreme Court, abolish the Senate, abolish all borders. They don't want any borders. They want mass amnesty granted to anyone who can come onto our shores without exception. They don't want prisons. They don't want to fund the police. This is not a game. We need America to wake up. We are fighting right now in Congress over whether we're going to maintain our status as a constitutional republic, or we're going to trade that in, dismantle the foundations, and go down this dark road of death to communism. That is the question on the ballot this fall.
All right, so a couple back-to-back videos there here live on Right Side Broadcasting Network. Again, President Trump has an event at 1 o'clock Eastern from the White House, currently closed to the press. He'll be meeting with a lifeguard by the name of Ryder Williams. He helped save a 10-year-old's life in California just last month. We started our broadcast with that dramatic rescue video. We'll play that again in just a little bit as the 1 o'clock hour gets closer, just in case we see the commander-in-chief there in Washington, D.C. Speaking of D.C. and the Secretary of Transportation, Sean Duffy, being there recently, talking about something that I like. I like aviation. I also like rail. I do like trains. They're pretty cool, right? Let's go to a video all about making the golden age of rail possible here in the United States of America.
Let's build projects that we can actually deliver for by way of the American people. President Trump and I want to see big, beautiful things built in this country, like the ones we're funding today and like the place that we are today. You think about our forefathers and what they built, the beauty and majesty of a place like this. Let's try to bring that back, that beauty and majesty, back into the infrastructure that we build in this country. These are the trains that connect cities, suburbs, and economic hubs. We're investing in Amtrak to bolster its services. We want to make it competitive and improve the rider experience. And we expect these investments to complement their ongoing efforts to reorganize the company's management structure. We think that we can look around the world and find different management structures that could complement what we do in the United States, where we can improve our service to the American people.
In total, 41 projects in 23 states are being awarded over $5.3 billion. We are here in the great state of Ohio, a state with more than 5,000 miles of railroad track. Dating back to the 19th century, railroading in the Buckeye State was critical to economic development. In the northern part of the state, rail provided a connection to the Great Lakes, and Cincinnati once served as a major rail hub. With 44 rails today, this extensive network connects Ohio businesses to national and global markets, helping move freight of all types.
I have this dream that people in our state, people who have an interest in science and mathematics, engineering, research, they have a future not only in our universities and our schools, but they have a future in our state.
Well, we are here today in North Platte, Nebraska, to celebrate the grand opening of an airport terminal. This is so great for the community, for the region, as we continue to make these investments in infrastructure, and especially in our airports.
There's been $2 billion invested in North Platte. Over 1,000 jobs have been created.
U.S. Senator Bill Haggerty kicked off his economic development tour in Hawkins County.
It's great to see Tennessee thriving, to see Tennessee booming, and to see the innovation that's taking place here as well. The pace that we're developing new energy, infrastructure, AI, quantum computing is staggering.
All right, before we jump back into going back to the Sunshine State, of course, Byron Donalds, the candidate for governor, held an event in Sarasota this morning. We'll go to a clip of that. Then we'll also go to a clip of the Lieutenant Governor Jay Collins, who's also running for governor in Florida. If you're just joining us, we just had gubernatorial candidate James Fishback on the network. And then also we'll go to Paul Renner as well a little bit later. So working our sources to get as many of the gubernatorial candidates on for the interviews. And even if for some reason the schedule conflict happens or just they can't make it on the network, we're still playing a video from them, as we know that this is a big gubernatorial race there in the Sunshine State. In the meantime, let's go to All Family Pharmacy here on Right Side. You know, we've talked about All Family Pharmacy before, and there's a reason we keep returning to them. In my opinion, they're one of the best pharmacies in the country because they believe Americans should have more freedom and more choice when it comes to their health care. They stand for medical freedom and work to make trusted medications easier to access without all of the unnecessary runaround. So when life throws you a curveball and your health suddenly becomes the priority, you want to pharmacy that is really ready to help. From connecting you with licensed medical providers when appropriate, to fast shipping options, to knowledgeable support when you have questions, All Family Pharmacy is there when you need them. They have a full catalog of more than 400 medications, from everyday essentials to antibiotics, ivermectin, NAD+, GLP-1 options, peptides, all the medications you may want to have on hand. It's the kind of company you hope you never need in an emergency, but you're glad they're there if you do. So check them out. Find the medications you may need for your family. Visit allfamilypharmacy.com/RSBN or /biohacking, as you see there. Save 10% at checkout. You can give them a call at 561-717-6794. Again, that number is 561-717-6794. You can speak to a pharmacist, a staffer there, a doctor. They have all of that at your fingertips, or if you want to give them a call, you can. allfamilypharmacy.com/biohacking. Use that RSBN 10 promo code as we go from All Family Pharmacy to Birch Gold Group. Of course, we don't wait until the house is on fire to install a smoke detector, and we don't wait until the wind and rain hammer our windows and the power goes out to prepare for a hurricane. And you don't reach for your seatbelt after the impact, because after the crash or the hurricane or the house fire, it's just too late. And within that framework, you don't wait until the dollar goes to zero before you buy gold. It's just too late then. So you can diversify with precious metals now, because you never know what will threaten your savings next. Persistent inflation, a weakening dollar, unexpected financial disruptions. We don't know what's coming up next, but you can take a preventative step. You can do that right now by requesting a free info kit on gold from my friends at Birch Gold Group. All you have to do is text Trump to that number, 989898. There's no cost, no obligation, just straightforward information on how you can diversify your savings, even an IRA or a 401k, with gold. We at Right Side Broadcasting Network trust Birch Gold. You can trust them too. Just text Trump to 989898 to get the ball rolling there. Two great sponsors here on RSBN. All right, so let's shift now to Florida again. This is going to be a Floridian style of day. I hope you're okay with that. If there's any national breaking news or any other stories going on, of course, that are within that developing news framework, we'll talk about that too. On top of if President Trump's 1 o'clock event goes from closed press to open press, we'll talk about what those specifics are as well, all within this broadcast. Earlier this morning, Florida candidate for Governor Byron Donalds spoke to a group of supporters in Sarasota. Let's go to clip number 23.
It's Silk from Diamond and Silk Chit Chat Live. Look, don't forget to watch my show right here at Right Side Broadcasting Network, and I want you to support Right Side Broadcasting Network. It's imperative that you do so, okay? Bye-bye.
And over these last 18 months, we've been crisscrossing Florida, talking to voters, really hearing from the people what matters to you, what needs to be done. And through all the different topics, whether it's affordability, whether it's balancing the beauty of our state, talking about what comes next in Florida, just the quality of life, all those issues, the one thing that always kind of resonated through it all to me is that Florida is not just the best state in America, it is the state where dreams come true today in America. It's the state.
All right, so far on the network, we've heard from James Fishback, one of the Florida governor candidates, Byron Donalds right there, and we'll be hearing from Lieutenant Governor Jay Collins here in just a second. Of course, he's running for governor as well. Following that, we'll go to Florida again, and we'll be joined by Paul Renner, who's also running for governor. So just getting ready for that big primary election day tomorrow in that state. Also, Alaska and Wyoming have primary elections tomorrow. Let's go over some of the specifics for what's coming up for those of you that may be wondering, because on August 25th in Oklahoma, there's a runoff election. Then on September 1st, it's Massachusetts. September 8th, New Hampshire. September 9th, Rhode Island. September 15th, Delaware. And that rounds out all of the states when it comes to primary elections. Now, around that September framework, on September 9th and 10th, the RNC, the GOP midterm national convention, the first of its kind, will be happening in Dallas, Texas. So that's pretty much summing it up as we get ready for the November 3rd election, which is, less than 80 days from today. So a lot going on there. And that reminds me of President Trump when he just spoke just a few weeks back about specifically the quote from the White House saying, for years, fake news and other bad actors try to convince you that we had safe and secure elections when that clearly wasn't reality. America must continue to fight for honest elections and properly functioning voting systems. Our nation depends on it. So that from the White House just a few weeks back. That on the heels of getting the Save America Act turned into the Save America law, but might be tough to see it happen because we don't have enough Republicans that want to nuke the filibuster. Tommy Tuberville of Alabama and others, including President Trump, all saying we should nuke the filibuster because we know if the Democrats get in, they'll be nuke happy only on the filibuster, and push all these awful agendas. So we'll see what happens there. All right, sticking to our coverage out of the Sunshine State. Also running for Florida governor is current Lieutenant Governor Jay Collins. Here's a video from the Collins camp. Let's go to clip number 24.
I am one of the people, gladly. The founders of our nation, well, they were regular people too, and I'm never going to stop mowing my own yard. It teaches my kids where our values lie. You know, Byron, I don't think he probably mows his yard. My guess is he has a landscape architect. I live and work in Florida. He lives in the world of Congress, trading political celebrity in D.C. Working people aren't running the Capitol Hill portfolio. They're trying to pay the insurance bill, the property tax bill, and keep the lights on. Working people do not need another speech. They need life to get easier. They need things to get cheaper, and they need to know their family is going to be safer.
Okay, so Lieutenant Governor Jay Collins there, his pitch for the governorship there in Florida. Of course, we heard from Byron Donalds as well, and also James Fishback earlier. Let's go now to Paul Renner, a candidate for Florida governor. Paul, thank you so much for joining us here on Right Side.
Great to be with you.
Let's talk about it. I mean, how's the campaign going as we are less than, 24 hours from the primary election there?
Well, I think we've got some late momentum. And again, as people really start to do their research, I tell them the more you do research, the more you're going to want me as your next governor. And our governor, who hasn't endorsed anyone, has said just recently, kind of in the middle of a press conference unrelated to the campaign, that I would make a really good governor. And I've got a great policy record. And he's saying that because I was a key architect in helping him build the free state of Florida. So for those that have concerns or doubts about any of the other candidates, they don't have to have that with me. I'm your candidate if you want to protect and defend this great state of ours.
And I'm seeing that on X, a number of people that I follow or just kind of see. I mean, I check out a ton of content on X. And there are some people that are saying, hey, Paul's would be a great governor. So let's talk about that a little bit more when it comes to the architect of why Florida is so great. Can we dive into some of that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, the governor on those 2 years when I was leading the legislature said there was no time in Florida history or anywhere in a legislature in America that had accomplished more in those 2 years. But it was so many things: universal school choice, it was ending DEI, passing a Heartbeat Protection Act, permitless carry, protecting kids from addictive social media platforms, pushing back against the woke agenda and ESG, and on it goes. We had more done in those two 60-day sessions than at any time before or since. And so, again, if people want someone to protect and expand the free state of Florida, you go to the guy who was an architect in the legislature with the governor in building it. I know a lot of people are very undecided right now, and so you don't need to be worried or concerned. You've got the closest thing to a sure thing to step into the shoes of a great governor, Governor DeSantis, and I hope that they'll support us tomorrow, August 18th, and we're seeing people that are flipping. We're hearing it anecdotally all over. I was with Donalds. I'm looking closer. You're the right guy. You're the only one, frankly, that's qualified.
And then on top of that, so Byron Donalds, James Fishback, Jay Collins, yourself, Paul Renner. I haven't closely watched if there have been a bunch of debates. What has it been like just between the candidates on X, on Truth Social, in person, at events? Are you guys kind of just staying in your lane and saying, hey, I'm the best over here, but then you debate? Or tell us what it's been like for those that don't know, say in a state like Iowa.
Well, we had one debate on Patrick Bet-David, so you can, if you Google it on YouTube, there's only one. If you say Republican primary debate Florida, you'll find it. It was me, Collins, and Fishback, and I think it's illustrative. And many people, most people said you clearly won that debate. Collins really underperformed, and we got a lot of Collins supporters that shifted over our way. That was now a couple months ago, and so again, the more people look deeply into the candidates, including my background, 20 years in the military, 2 wars as a naval officer and a commander in the Navy, as a prosecutor trying habitual and violent habitual offenders, small business experience as an owner and partner in a business, and of course, Speaker of the House. On every level of experience, results, obviously as Speaker on vision, our contract with Florida to get after affordability and end public corruption and all these issues, we are just head and shoulders above the other candidates. And so if you want someone who's going to really lead, and I mean lead, as Florida goes, so goes the nation, we cannot go backwards here in Florida. I'm your candidate.
And finally, sir, we have the midterms, of course, in less than 80 days, as you know. I know you're focused on the primary tomorrow, but say you're the nominee, right? You go into November. On the ballot, is it as simple as freedom against socialism, communism, Sharia law, and the loss of our country? I mean, for the midterms, do you agree with that, or is that too much?
No, it's not too much at all. I go further and say that the left wants to destroy this country. There's a red and green alliance. You know, you mentioned Sharia, but there's a alliance between the left and Islam in this country, and they share one thing in common. They hate our foundational principles. They hate our constitutional republic. And I will do everything possible, stand in front of a bullet train if necessary, to protect and defend our state and our country and speak up for capital T truth and those foundational principles that have given us 250 years. We need to keep holding on to those to have another 250.
It's very difficult for me to hold back a personal opinion right now, but I'm going to go for it because I have freedom of speech. Paul, it seems like someone, say in 2028, you know, there's a Republican as a president. Hopefully that's what happens, right? Seeing someone like you in the cabinet would be refreshing, to be honest. But that's just my personal opinion. We'll see what happens. I know you might be the governor of Florida, so we'll see what happens there too. But I hope you take that as a compliment there. Paul Renner, the candidate for Florida governor. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us here on Right Side.
God bless you.
You too, sir. So there you go. You know, at the end of the day, we brought on, of course, James Fishback. We reached out to Lieutenant Governor Jay Collins' office. We reached out to the Byron Donalds camp. And Paul Renner and James Fishback, they agreed to be on the broadcast. So far, haven't heard a confirmation yet with the Lieutenant Governor or Byron Donalds camp. So if we do hear from them, of course, we'll have them on the broadcast as well. All right, it is 12:50, Monday, August 17th. My name is Matthew Alvarez. If you don't know, this is RSBN Live. We'll be right back here on the network.
It's Silk from Diamond and Silk Chit Chat Live. Look, don't forget to watch my show right here at Right Side Broadcasting Network, and I want you to support Right Side Broadcasting Network. It's imperative that you do so, okay? Bye-bye.
Welcome to Right Side Broadcasting Network, your trusted conservative news outlet. At RSBN, we deliver the truth when the mainstream media falls short. Since 2015, we've proudly broadcasted every single one of President Trump's iconic MAGA rallies, bringing you the excitement and energy live before anyone else. By watching RSBN, you get an unfiltered front row view of the action on the ground. We interview the crowds to give a voice to millions of Americans just like you. We show you President Trump's speeches in their entirety, free from interruptions and censorship. We cover the stories that matter to you with the integrity and passion you deserve. Thank you for choosing RSBN as your home for America First News. Together, we stand strong, united, and informed. So join us and be part of the right side of history.
MyPillow's second annual mega sale is finally here. Get our patented premium MyPillows that adjust to your exact individual needs to give you the best sleep of your life.
When I got MyPillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
I guarantee they're going to be the most comfortable pillows you'll ever own. King size only $24.98, queen size only $19.98. Giza Dream bed sheets, the best sheets in history, as low as $29.98. Lux Pier 6-piece towel sets, towels that actually dry you. What a concept. Now only $39.98. And our made in the USA mattresses and mattress toppers as low as $99.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our second annual mega sale. Plus free shipping options available when you order today. So don't delay, order now.
And let's continue that. MyPillow.com/RSBN, of course, great sponsor here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. So if you go to MyPillow.com/RSBN, you're going to see a number of quality products at a great price, especially if you use the RSBN promo code. And I believe that it is still free shipping for RSBN viewers, or if you use the RSBN promo code. So thank you so much for purchasing MyPillow products, but also really any of our sponsorships here on the network. It helps them, it helps us, and it helps everyone, but they're all actually really good products and services here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. And those of you that would like to donate, all you have to do is go to rsbnetwork.com/donate. If you think about it, you know, if you're getting cable TV, you got to pay for that, right? Or if you're getting certain kind of services out there, you pay for it. With us, you don't have to pay for anything. You could just click on Rumble or X or YouTube or wherever you watch out there, and you get to see us, which is cool, right? But it does cost a few bucks to keep everything running. So if you'd like to, if you can, great. If you can't, no worries. rsbnetwork.com/donate. All right, so good afternoon once again, and welcome to RSBN Live. I'm Matthew Alvarez. We know that in about 7 minutes, the president greets lifeguard Ryder Williams. Now, this event is currently closed to the press. If it opens, we'll go to D.C. for that. A lot of times, just inside baseball, if you'd like. Of course, you can check it out here on RSBN. We'll post, the things that we see. But Margot Martin, if you're not following Margot Martin, she's great to follow there at the White House. Posts a lot of that stuff when it comes to a closed press event. And sometimes we are able to post those too. So so if we see it live, we'll take you there. If not, we'll move on and we'll cover a number of the stories that we're seeing out there from coast to coast. And speaking of coast, let's talk about that. Surrounding that daring rescue, so this person, Ryder Williams, who's at the White House today, who in about 6 minutes, or maybe even right this second, who knows, there's no other live feed that we're seeing of the president at this point. But the president's meeting with a 16-year-old rookie California State Parks lifeguard, Ryder Williams, who performed that dramatic rescue of a 10-year-old Nathaniel Rye at a Seabright State Beach in Santa Cruz, California. This happened on July 25th, so just last month. Let's take a look at that rescue. If you're just joining us, we played this at the top, but I want to play it one more time here for you. Clip 1A. So that lifeguard, Ryder Williams, is at the White House today, and so that event is to start in about 3 minutes. Again, closed to the press currently. We'll see if it opens up. If it doesn't, we'll be able to see, I'm sure, a few clips or something from inside the Oval Office there. Now, sticking to the water theme just a little bit, let's go from California and let's go north a bunch of miles to Alaska, where the DHS Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen just recently visited a Coast Guard facility there. So let's take a look at that next clip. That, I believe, is clip number, let me double check, clip 9.
Hey Alaska, I'm here with my good friend Dan Sullivan. We've been out here looking where the new ice cutters are going to be. Got some pretty cool stuff. The Coasties, they really took care of us today. We got to see all kinds of things, and even guys going out of a helicopter in a basket. That was surreal. I was kind of jealous though. Would you do that?
I've done that.
In a basket?
As a Marine, no, not in a basket. As a Marine recon guy, I've just done it. But we are here in Kodiak with the Secretary of Homeland Security, who's of course in charge of the Coast Guard, my good friend, Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen, who is a great buddy of mine in the U.S. Senate and now doing an amazing job with regard to our Coast Guard, especially with regard to Alaska. So, Mr. Secretary,
there's a lot to brag about the Coast Guard.
There's a lot to brag about.
As I say, they're the Swiss Army knife of Department of War.
The Swiss Army knife for the Department of War, because the Coast Guard does everything. In the buildup of Alaska, especially here in Kodiak, 2 more icebreakers in 2 OPCs.
A total of 4.
Total of 4 icebreakers. We were just in Seward yesterday with the Commandant, where the other icebreaker is, and then in Juneau. So a lot going on in our great state because of his leadership, the
President
Commandant,
Trump.
and the
President Trump's vision, and you talking to the president, explained to him the importance it was to invest $25 billion.
$25 billion in the
largest
Coast Guard.
Investment ever in the Coast Guard.
In the history of the Coast Guard, and a lot of it's coming here, and it's great having the Secretary, Homeland Security, in charge of the Coast Guard, my good friend Mark Wayne Mullen.
And people have been saying that the Kodiak weather is like, it sometimes can be rough.
It's perfect.
This is, I don't know what they're talking about.
No.
This is absolutely beautiful.
By the way, it's like this every day.
I bet. I hear that. Yes.
All right, let's go from Alaska to Wyoming, specifically still, though, on the House floor, where Representative Harriet Hagman recently spoke about the fact that there is no German dream or French dream. There is only the American dream built on exceptionalism, not empty promises. That's the post from the Representative Harriet Hagman. Now let's look at that video together here on Right Side Broadcasting Network, clip number 10.
The moment we give up on America by believing it merely exists as an abstract concept is the moment we forfeit our shared culture as a nation. America has been the most potent force for good in human history. The erasure of the very culture that underlies our success as a country will be a dark moment for all of Western civilization if we allow it to happen. And what better time to celebrate our history, culture, and traditions than on this 250th anniversary, being optimistic that in 2026, while looking both backwards and forwards since Ronald Reagan professed it to be morning again in America, we will realize that it is a bright golden sunrise shining over the new horizons of a novel American Pax Romana, the dawn of a truly golden age of America. The existence of America to those who came before this country was willed into existence by our forefathers and those willing to die for their noble cause was a dream. a paradise of freedom away from religious persecution and in harmony with neighbors, a place united by the Christian values that championed the family and preserved individual liberty. One of the nation's most famous civil rights heroes later articulated what that meant in a speech for the ages in 1963. He shared a dream just 2 miles west of this Capitol on the grand steps to the monument of the great emancipator. He dreamed, quote, that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Dr. King was assassinated just 5 years later, but his words carry his legacy as a living memory, a memory which to be both proud and careful as a warning about our present decade. The United States is experiencing many of the same stress tests today that we survived through the 1960s. We are locked in a competitive space race with a nuclear rival. Our foreign policy is wrapped around countering rival communist, fascist, and totalitarian regimes across the world who have no respect for human life, value, or dignity. Our university campuses are hotbeds of unrest and disunity, with calls to destroy the social contract that has allowed differing groups, religions, and philosophies to not only exist in harmony, but to actually thrive, and for our people to love each other like brothers. We are facing historic divisions in our cities where anarchy, race riots, and political assassinations have returned. We have faced these trials before.
So that goes on there, of course, with Representative Hagman there out of Wyoming. Just a recent post that she has pinned to the X account there. Thought it was great to see that. Also, just a quick side note, a number of people said they liked this hat that I was showing before. This is, of course, half of the American flag here with the Gadsden flag mix there. And I got this at an auto parts store for free because the person that I walked in the other day, and the guy that was behind the counter, an older gentleman, was wearing the hat. And I said, "Where'd you get that hat?" Or I said, I like that hat. He goes, "Come back tomorrow, I'll give you one for free." I said, "What are you talking about?" Well, he sells those hats at flea markets, but he said he doesn't have any more time to do that. So apparently he has a bunch of these hats. I don't know how many. So for those of you that are interested, because I'm being told from in our internal communications that people are asking, where can I order that hat? Well, this is what I'll do. I will go to the auto parts store, or at least just call him and talk to this guy and ask him if he's got a bunch of them, and we'll see if we could connect the dots somehow. I'm not in business or sales really, so we'll figure all that out, but it is a pretty cool hat, and thanks to Robert for this one that I got in Alabama just yesterday, a couple days ago. Anyway, and then also all of our mods, all the moderators that are online, thank you guys so much for what you do. You're part of our team here on RSBN, and we cannot thank you enough for all of the years that you guys have done that work there on all of those live chats and all of that. So thanks again for doing that. And again, we won't forget about this. We'll try and get those hats to whoever really wants one. We'll see. Who knows? Maybe this will be great for the guy that works at the auto parts store if he wants to get back into selling them. I'll have to talk to him about that, and I'll report back to you tomorrow. In the meantime, let's go to some of our sponsors before we continue our live coverage here on Right Side Broadcasting Network, including this great sponsor. So we've talked about All Family Pharmacy before, and there's a reason we keep returning to them. In my opinion, they're one of the best pharmacies in the country because they believe Americans should have more freedom and more choice when it comes to their health care. You know, they stand for medical freedom and work to make trusted medications easier to access without all the unnecessary runaround. So when life throws you a curveball and your health suddenly becomes the priority, you want a pharmacy that's ready to help. From connecting you with licensed medical providers when appropriate, to fast shipping options, to knowledgeable support when you have questions, All Family Pharmacy is there when you need them. They have a full catalog of more than 400 medications, from everyday essentials to antibiotics, ivermectin, NAD+, GLP-1 options, peptides, all the medications you may want to have on hand. It's the kind of company you hope you never need in an emergency, but you're glad it's there if you do. So check them out. Find the medications you may need for your family. Go to allfamilypharmacy.com/biohacking. You can also go to the QR code. You see the RSBN 10 promo code on the way out for the checkout there. And here's a phone number for you. 561-717-6794. You'll talk to a real person on the other line, not some voice prompt AI, excuse me, I didn't understand. Can you say that again? And you're like, it's not a real person. They act like it's, have you ever gotten a call like that? Somebody calls and it's AI, but it sounds really like almost convincing. Well, anyway, you don't have to deal with that with All Family Pharmacy. 561-717-6794. Great sponsor, great pharmacy there. Let's move on to Birch Gold Group here on Right Side. And again, thank you to all of our sponsors here on Right Side. Now, you don't wait until your house is on fire to install a smoke detector, and you don't wait until the wind and the rain hammer your windows and the power goes out to prepare for a hurricane. And you don't reach for your seatbelt after the impact, because after the crash or the hurricane or the house fire, it's just too late. And within that framework, you don't wait until the dollar goes to zero before you buy gold. It's really just too late then. Diversify with precious metals now, because you never know what will threaten your savings next. Persistent inflation, a weakening dollar, unexpected financial disruptions. We don't know what's coming down the pike, but you can take a preventative step. And you can do that right now by requesting a free info kit on gold from our friends at Birch Gold Group. All you got to do is text Trump to the number 989898. There's no cost, no obligation, just straightforward information on how you can diversify your savings, even an IRA or 401k with gold. We at Right Side trust Birch Gold. You can trust them too. Text Trump to 989898. Great sponsors here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. We are live. We're looking live there in Washington, D.C. It is 8 minutes past the hour, as you can tell there. On the president's schedule today, a number of events all closed to the press. We'll see when we see the president again live. Could be today, could be tomorrow. We'll see. Speaking of that, last time we saw him was specifically at a most recent press availability on the tarmac just a couple days ago. We played that clip at the top of the broadcast. So if you're looking to see President Trump and some of the press there, and this is after that speech in Nassau County, of course, on Long Island in New York. We saw a number of people join us here on Right Side to watch that. So thanks again for doing that. All right, that's a lot of information. That's a lot of talking. Why don't I stop talking for a second and let's go to Georgia, because Mike Collins is running for Senate there. Let's go to clip number 11.
Hey, good Friday morning. Listen, we're still down here in South Georgia. Matter of fact, we're in Moultrie, Georgia. Just got through meeting with a good group of farmers to discuss issues that they have right now. One of the biggest questions they've been saying, where's John Ossoff? Everybody would like to know exactly why he voted against the farm bill last year, why he voted to shut down our government when we were trying to get money out to help these farmers after Hurricane Helene. I can guarantee you one thing, nobody works smarter or harder than the American farmer out there. And we had a U.S. Senator that worked half as hard as they did, this place would be a whole lot better off.
Let's go to the friendly skies in the meantime. Right there, right close to that live picture there is the Ronald Reagan International Airport, of course. Right there, it's DCA are those call letters, if you call them call letters. I forget what they're called. That's more of a radio term. But, of course, President Trump has his DJT call letter down there in Palm Beach. All that to say, the Secretary of Transportation, Sean Duffy, recently his team just posted a video specifically about a brand new surface movement radar at Reagan Airport. Sean Duffy saying the future looks good. Check it out. Oh man, playing some live music here. Sometimes we have to shut that down a little bit because, of course, various reasons. But anyway, good stuff there from the Secretary of Transportation. Now, this next story that we're looking at here, of course, we're just going through a number of clips. And, as we proceed this week and into the near future here, diving into some more investigative stories, bringing on some guests from all across the conservative spectrum, really diving into news of the day, the 24/7 news cycle. Right now, a lot of it is surface in the sense of various clips here and there. But again, those interviews that we brought on earlier, some of the gubernatorial candidates in Florida, and really sticking with that 24/7 news cycle is a goal. But in that framework, and the perspective will always be in conservative media, God, family, country, the Constitution, we the people, all the things, right? The Holy Bible. That's what the majority of the country, right? We were founded on all of what I just mentioned. Common sense, all the things. That's the perspective and the lens that we look through here at Right Side, and hopefully that's the way it is in true conservative media out there as well, whether it's podcasting or a network or whatever, or if you have 400,000 followers on X, whatever, all kind of on the same team of truth, justice, and the American way. All right, speaking of specific stories, did you hear about this one? So this Young Americans for Liberty, this is what they posted. It says, quote, "We all have had enough. It is time to tell our elected officials to flock off." Let's go to our next clip here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. I believe that's clip number 13.
If you want Flock to stop, you have to do it yourself. Cities all over the country are canceling and rejecting Flock contracts. This is because the constituents are coming out and making their voices heard. If you don't want Flock violating your privacy, you have to do the same. If you go to flock.yaliberty.org, you can put in your zip code and see how many Flock cameras are in your area. And then you can quickly send a petition to your elected officials and tell them to stop the cameras. Organizations like Young Americans for Liberty are on the front lines in stopping Flock cameras. But they can't fight without your help. Go to flock.yaliberty.org today.
So there is actually a New York Post article I think I saw out there. You can actually just click on what he's talking about, that exact site, and type in your license plate number, see if a Flock camera has, I don't know what they do. What do they do? I don't know. I do know the answer, but it's just whatever. Moving on. All right, so let's look at some of the beauty out there in God's creation. Of course, it's beautiful right there, especially with the Thomas Jefferson Memorial there. But the House Committee on Natural Resources posted a video just about 72 hours ago. So let's go to our next clip here on Right Side as we stand by for any possible live stream there at the White House. Even if that doesn't happen, we'll bring you the latest that we see when it comes to breaking news and that kind of thing. And if you're just joining us now, we had a number of the gubernatorial candidates for tomorrow's huge Florida election primary on the broadcast. And that's a big one, of course, in Florida. And then Wyoming and Alaska as well, having your primary elections as we continue to monitor what's going on out there. And thanks again for being with us here on RSBN. So let's go to that next clip, 14, here on RSBN. It's great to see that. It's also great to see manufacturing be made great again. You've heard President Trump talk about this time and time again, that various car plants are coming back to the United States, and great to see that instead of maybe Mexico or Canada or somewhere else out there. We'll go to that video, clip 15, in just a second, but let's go to Kalshi in the meantime, kalshi.com/RSBN. I'm going to check here on my phone with you if you'd like to join me. We're going to go to kalshi.com and see some of the political trending topics that are on right now. So one of them, it says trending, Florida Republican governor nominee. As I mentioned earlier, I knew that Kalshi would be, that's the first trending thing that comes up, by the way, and it has a number of candidates on it, so you can check that out if you like. Also, if you just flip over to a couple other ones, it's sports as well. And anyway, so kalshi.com/RSBN. Go to the QR code if you'd like. You can download the Kalshi app as well. And there are a ton of political trending topics there, including sports, outside of that, including sports, weather, faith, all kinds of things. So check it out there, one of our great sponsors here on Right Side, more than 1 million users on Kalshi. And before we go to Cove Pure as our next sponsor here, speaking of water, my throat's a little scratchy. Let's take a quick commercial break. I'll drink some water. We'll talk Cove Pure. We'll be right back here on RSBN.
It's Silk from Diamond and Silk Chit Chat Live. Look, don't forget to watch my show right here at Right Side Broadcasting Network, and I want you to support Right Side Broadcasting Network. It's imperative that you do so, okay? Bye-bye.
Welcome to Right Side Broadcasting Network, your trusted conservative news outlet. At RSBN, we deliver the truth when the mainstream media falls short. Since 2015, we've proudly broadcasted every single one of President Trump's iconic MAGA rallies, bringing you the excitement and energy live before anyone else. By watching RSBN, you get an unfiltered front row view of the action on the ground. We interview the crowds to give a voice to millions of Americans just like you. We show you President Trump's speeches in their entirety, free from interruptions and censorship. We cover the stories that matter to you with the integrity and passion you deserve. Thank you for choosing RSBN as your home for America First News. Together, we stand strong, united, and informed. So join us and be part of the right side of history.
MyPillow's second annual mega sale is finally here. Get our patented premium MyPillows that adjust your exact individual needs to give you the best sleep of your life.
When I got my pillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
I guarantee they're going to be the most comfortable pillows you'll ever own. King size only $24.98, queen size only $19.98. Giza Dream bed sheets, the best sheets in history, as low as $29.98. Lux Pier 6-piece towel sets, towels that actually dry you. What a concept. Now only $39.98. And our made in the USA mattresses and mattress toppers as low as $99.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our second annual mega sale. Plus free shipping options available when you order today. So don't delay, order now.
Welcome back to Right Side Broadcasting Network. We're going to go from MyPillow to Cove Pure, but also we're hearing that there may be a closed press event opening up for this event that was scheduled for 1 o'clock Eastern time. So we may be seeing President Donald Trump here. We may be seeing, again, Ryder Williams, I believe is his name. Let me double check that so I'm right. Ryder Williams, yes. So he is the lifeguard that saved a kid's life just the other day in California. So that's the 1 o'clock event that we were thinking would be open press. It's currently closed, but I'm hearing some things happen in the other room here at the studio that usually are signs toward a open press event. So that may mean we will see the president, and then we'll hear from some of the press as well. So that's why we do what we do. We like to stay live surrounding these various events, but also cover 24/7 news, bring in some guests, and play some videos as well for you here on the network. So let's do this. Let's go to MyPillow. Actually, we just were at MyPillow. Let's go to Cove Pure to finish up that sponsor ad break from earlier. You know, most of us know there's chlorine in our tap water. We sometimes can smell it, shrug, then drink it anyway because we've been told it's what keeps our water safe. But what they don't tell you is what chlorine becomes after it's added to your water. And that's why it's so important to filter your water through Cove Pure, because chlorine itself isn't even the biggest problem. You know, chlorine levels in your water are regulated, but what's not regulated are chemicals that form when chlorine reacts with naturally occurring organic matter from things like, you know, rivers, soil, plant matter. So we're told when chlorine interacts with those particles, it creates chemical byproducts called THMs. The government itself calls THMs, quote, probable human carcinogens. They've been linked to disruption of your gut and linked to cancer. Those pitcher filters you get at the store won't fix this. They improve the taste of chlorine, but THMs require something far more powerful, and that's exactly what Cove Pure is. Their ClearWave reverse osmosis technology is certified to remove up to 99.9% of contaminants. So it's not just chlorine or THMs, fluoride, PFAs, pharmaceuticals. Basically, if it isn't water, Cove Pure removes it. And this thing doesn't take up much room at all. You can see right there on the kitchen counter, you just plug it in. Don't need to call someone in to install it. The best part about Cove Pure also is it lets you choose whatever temperature water you want. So no more waiting for the kettle to boil to make a cup of tea or coffee. Just tap a button, you get hot, cold, or warm water instantly. The feedback on Cove Pure from our viewers has been incredible as well. People have told us they can literally taste the difference. Clean water really is one of the best investments you can make for you and your family's health. And right now they're giving RSBN viewers $250 off if you use our link there. So it's just covepure.com/RSBN, covepure.com/RSBN. Let's go to All Family Pharmacy. You know, we've been speaking about All Family Pharmacy, of course, and there's a reason we keep returning to them. In my opinion, they're one of the best pharmacies in the country because they believe Americans should have more freedom and more choice when it comes to their health care. They stand for medical freedom and work to make trusted medications easier to access without all of the unnecessary runaround. So when life throws you a curveball, you get to hit a grand slam home run with that because this is the spot to do it, All Family Pharmacy. From connecting you with licensed medical providers when appropriate, to fast shipping options, to knowledgeable support when you have questions, All Family Pharmacy is there for you when you need them. They have this full catalog of more than 400 medications, from everyday essentials to antibiotics, ivermectin, NAD+, GLP-1 options, peptides, all the medications you may want to have on hand. It's the kind of company you hope you never need in an emergency, but you're glad it's there if you do. Check them out and find the medications you may need for your family. Visit allfamilypharmacy.com/biohacking, or there you go, /RSBN, as you see on the bottom of your screen there. Call 561-717-6794, as you see on the bottom of your screen as well. You can talk to somebody that is there to answer your questions when it comes to All Family Pharmacy. Again, at checkout, use that RSBN10 promo code. As we are 24 minutes past the hour here on RSBN, and look at what we have here. A open press event. You know, you go into this sometimes each day, right? We see the White House press schedule, and a lot of times underneath each event, it'll simply say open press or closed press. This event that we're seeing here originally said closed. It's going to open because we see that, that feed right there. So we'll be going to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue in just a second. And again, the president is going to greet lifeguard Ryder Williams. And we know specifics surrounding the daring rescue include that on July 25th of this year, so just last month, 16-year-old rookie California State Parks lifeguard Ryder Williams performed a dramatic rescue of 10-year-old Nathaniel Rye at Seabright State Beach in Santa Cruz, California. That assistance there from The Guardian saw that on Grok, so I'm just giving that site there for that. So anyway, so that's going to be happening here any minute from now. And we already played the video of the actual rescue a couple times. It depends if we have a longer delay, if we're going to play it again, because we've already played it twice. But it's pretty cool. Actually, you know what, Director? Can we go to clip 1A and just play maybe 20 seconds of it just to get the idea of what happened just last month? All right, so that was just a quick clip of it right there on Right Side Broadcasting Network. Of course, you saw where it was from in the top right corner there. So as we await the opening of this event there to see Ryder Williams, see the president, and also I'm sure the president will be taking questions. It is something that happens not really 9 out of 10 times, 10 out of 10. I've only seen, I think, once in President Trump's several years of being a president, right, in his first administration, and in the second administration where there was not a press availability. I think it was maybe at one of the roundtable events where the president had some opening remarks and then kind of the press just left, you know. So we'll be seeing, I'm sure, those that back and forth here in just a second. As we await the Commander-in-Chief here for this event at the White House, let's return to manufacturing, of course, when it comes to making manufacturing great again. Let's go to clip number 15 for that.
You know that when manufacturing wins, America wins. 1 year later, look at the stories at the booths that we have here today. Look at our 50 stories from 50 states. To protect these provisions, we must make it clear and unmistakable that H.R. 1 is an investment in every community across this great country.
When manufacturers like Winton can count on immediate R&D expensing, full equipment expensing, and interest deductibility, America can count on manufacturers to keep going and keep growing. Thanks to the power of H.R. 1, Winton Machine is on track for its best year ever.
All of these things not only give you the appropriate tax policy that incentivize investment and manufacturing, but that give you certainty that you can rely on this as you make those investment decisions.
But it's the personal stories that matter. It's the personal stories that will allow these tax provisions that we made permanent to stay permanent. We can't just take it for granted.
You've invested in manufacturing, and an investment in manufacturing, it pays off every single time.
So for manufacturing, we're going to go to Virginia, where the Congressman John McGuire released a video as well just about 48 hours ago, but also 2 minutes ago, the White House just released a new video as well. So we're going to go to that in just a second, but let's first go to Congressman John McGuire, who before becoming congressman joined us here live as well as he was running for office not too long ago. So great to see the congressman out there. So let's go to clip number, I believe it's 11.
Hello, everyone. This is Congressman John McGuire, and this is your McGuire Minute. I represent Virginia's 5th Congressional District. This week, we visited several colleges and universities in Virginia's 5th District. We visited the Virginia University of Lynchburg. It was established in 1886, and it's an HBCU, which is a historically black college and university, and we got to learn about their incredible history right in Lynchburg, Virginia. We also went to tour Liberty University's police station and learned about law enforcement folks that keep students safe on the campus, their jurisdiction, and we listened to their concerns. We also went to visit Averett University in Danville, Virginia. They do a lot of things at Averett University, but we visited the airport to take a look at their aviation program. We're trying to work on funding to help all 3 of these programs better serve the people in the 5th District.
And as we get that White House video ready here on Right Side Broadcasting Network, I mean, literally though, even though the video was posted 2 minutes ago, we'll be going to the White House here and just have something live for you. So we'll watch it together, this event that's about to open here at the bottom of the hour. This is RSBN Live. I'm Matthew Alvarez. Thanks again for live streaming or watching on replay, wherever you're watching out there. You know, I don't always say, you know, shout out to a place like Facebook, but hey, if you're watching on Facebook, thanks for watching. Of course, Rumble, our home, YouTube, X, and anywhere else that you're watching here on the network. Thanks again for doing so, and we appreciate you joining us. All right, so it's Monday. It's August 17th. Let's talk about, let's see, how about NASA? Let's go to our next clip, clip 17 here on Right Side.
Go for launch. Full send.
President Trump's administration is all about bringing back the big, bold endeavors that once defined American exceptionalism.
That's one small step for man.
And NASA is very much on board. On November 7th, NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Cape Canaveral, Florida, will kick off Max Power, a 2-day event showcasing the best of American innovation in air and space, right here on American soil at the historic shuttle landing facility. Max Power will feature space hardware, NASA and DOW aircraft, interactive mission simulators, moon rovers. You're going to have Apollo astronauts there, Artemis astronauts will be there, behind-the-scenes experiences, one hell of an air show, and maybe even a rocket launch or two. As we honor America's 250th birthday, Max Power will help set the stage for the next 250 years of American engineering greatness. Together with our collaborators, this will be an event remembered for generations. You can head to nasa.gov/max tvOS.com/MaxPower to learn more, and I'll see you on the flight line.
From Max Power to making America healthy again, Secretary of HHS, of course, Health and Human Services, RFK Jr., recently posting a video as we stand by for the president here for this event. As soon as we see it, we'll take you there live. In the meantime, let's go to RFK Jr.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Secretary's Extraordinary Service Awards. This opportunity provides us the chance to pause and to look around and to appreciate the people who do extraordinary things, who have already accomplished something remarkable.
And you're getting these awards today because you're living up to your values. And I'm so proud of all of you. You came in here, both the careers and the politicals, because you were driven by idealism. And my job is to allow you to release it, to allow you to do your job, to allow you to live up to your potential. We all now have this extraordinary personal opportunity to change things in a way that better the lives of millions and millions of Americans, and to make this agency the greatest agency in government. And the best is yet to come.
Speaking of health, we've talked about All Family Pharmacy before, and there's a reason we keep returning to them. In my opinion, they're one of the best pharmacies in the country because they believe Americans should have more freedom and more choice when it comes to their health care. They stand for medical freedom and work to make trusted medications easier to access without all of that unnecessary runaround. When life throws you a curveball and your health suddenly becomes a priority, you want a pharmacy that's ready to help. And they can connect you with licensed medical providers when appropriate, and they have fast shipping options. They have the knowledgeable support when you have questions. All Family Pharmacy is there when you need them. And they have a full catalog of more than 400 medications, from everyday essentials to antibiotics, ivermectin, NAD+. How about GLP-1 options, peptides, all the medications you may want to have on hand. It's the kind of company you hope you never need in an emergency, but you're glad it's there if you do. You can check them out and find the medications you may need for your family. Just visit allfamilypharmacy.com/RSBN. The RSBN 10 promo code right there, and that number, 561-717-6794. Again, allfamilypharmacy.com/RSBN. Use that RSBN 10 promo code at checkout. Get that 10% off. Good stuff with that great pharmacy. All Family Pharmacy. Let's shift over to Birch Gold Group. Of course, you don't know, or you don't wait, at least, until your house is on fire to install a smoke detector. You don't wait until the wind and rain hammer your windows and the power goes out to prepare for a hurricane. And you don't reach for your seatbelt after the impact, because after the crash or the hurricane or the house fire, it's just too late. Within that framework, you don't wait until the dollar goes to zero before you buy gold. It's just too late then. So you can diversify with precious metals now, because you never know what will threaten your savings next. Persistent inflation, a weakening dollar, unexpected financial disruptions. We don't know what's next, but you can take a preventative step, and you can do that right now by requesting a free info kit on gold from our friends at Birch Gold Group. Just text Trump to that number, 989898. There's no cost, no obligation, just straightforward information on how you can diversify your savings, even an IRA or 401k with gold. We trust Birch Gold. You can trust them too. Text Trump to 989898. Great sponsors here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. We'll be going to, I believe, clip 25 soon. This is a White House clip about law and order, all about Nassau County when President Trump just spoke there on Friday. And it sounds like that clip is ready. Thanks, guys, for getting that. And here we go to clip 25.
We're here today to celebrate the historic progress our administration is making together with law enforcement partners nationwide to restore law and order in America. And we're especially grateful to be joined by the incredible men and women of Nassau County Police Department and a lot of other law enforcement. Nassau County has been rated the #1 safest county in the United States of America. Today I'm thrilled to announce that the FBI has just released a new uniform crime report showing that in 2025, we achieved the single largest reduction in violent crime in American history. Together, we're showing what is possible when you finally have a president in the White House who supports our police, who lets you do your jobs, and who always backs the blue. We back the blue.
If you're just joining us now, we know that there are less than 24 hours until the Florida primary election, also in Wyoming and in Alaska. So tomorrow, a big day for those three states, including that gubernatorial race on the Republican side of the aisle. We interviewed earlier James Fishback, Paul Renner, also waiting for confirmation on Jay Collins, the current lieutenant governor, and also the Trump-endorsed candidate, Byron Donald. So outside of that, glad you're here with us here on Right Side. And as soon as we see that live feed at the White House, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, we'll take you there. Let's go to Iowa for now. Let's go there because we see that Small Business Administrator Kelly Loeffler has been touring the country, including in the Midwest. A shout out to those of you if you're watching in Des Moines or anywhere across the state of Iowa. It was great to tour some of that state and New Hampshire early on for the primary elections back in 2024 as we were seeing the President of the United States, of course, win in November of 2024. What an election that was. How about all the elections over the past three presidential cycles? I'm hearing from our director that we'll be going to D.C. here in just a second instead of Iowa because the president is about to go live there. So that's what we do, I think, best here at Right Side is live coverage, right? There's a lot of content out there, but we're going to be looking at a lot of that, especially coming up this week and over the near future here on the network. So great to have you here with us on Right Side. And again, if you'd like to follow us on Truth Social, it's at RSBN, or on X, it's at RSB Network. If you're watching live, thanks so much. If you're watching a replay, regardless, thank you so much for doing so as well. And the loyal viewers out there, thank you again for joining us. All right, let's go to the White House.
Good, right? Nice story. Well, thank you very much, and this is a great story, and it's an honor to be with Ryder Williams, who is a 16-year-old lifeguard, California, the Santa Cruz area, and I understand he was a winner right from the time they first saw him as a lifeguard. There's a lot of training, a lot of work, and he saved this young gentleman, who I had a long talk with. I said, would you have made it without him? And you said, not really, right? Not really, it was trouble. Yeah. So you're gonna have a long and beautiful life.
Thank you.
And I just thought it was, we were all watching, everybody watched, and got a lot of publicity because of the ferocity of the waves. I've never seen waves, I mean, that was sort of violent. We were just discussing, and at certain times of the year, mostly like right around now, the waves get very rough in that area, and they're swirling, and if you don't know what you're doing, it's gonna be tough, or if you're small, if you're young. So I just want to congratulate Nathaniel Ray for coming through an ordeal. And that means you're going to have good luck in life. You know, that's called good luck. I want to say hello to your father, and came along for we invited them to the Oval Office and to the White House. After this, if you'd like, we're going to have them brought up to the Lincoln bedroom, where you see the room of Abraham Lincoln. That's pretty good, right? Yeah. And also your sister. It's really nice. We have some of the people that Nathaniel and that worked so much on the whole process with Nathaniel, and were with Ryder right from the beginning. And I guess you learned from these people. They taught you how to do what you do so well, Ryder, right?
Yes, sir. They trained me.
And Nathaniel's very happy about that, Ryder, I have to tell you. Shane Williams, the father of Ryder. Thank you very much, Shane. You did a good job.
Thank you.
I see you're in one of my favorite uniforms.
Yes,
I'm a big fan of that. You couldn't be happier, right?
I couldn't be more proud.
When you saw that on television.
Yes.
It was incredible, actually. Shannon Williams, that's the mom. So you did a good job. It's good genetics.
when you look at him, you can see really good. Summit Ray, that's the father. Thanks again, Summit. We appreciate it. Layla Ray, sister of Nathaniel. Thank you, honey. Aaron Bonin, Santa Cruz lifeguard who assisted Ryder, and he became quite famous also. That was a good assist. He helped you a lot, right? Yes, he helped you a lot. Thank you very much. Great job. Fantastic. Alex Luscutoff, Chief of Law Enforcement and Emergency Service in Santa Cruz. Thank you. Great job you guys are doing. Thank you, Mr. President. Justin McHenry, Assistant Chief of Aquatics and Lifeguard Operations, Santa Cruz.
Right here, sir.
Good job. Were you responsible for the training?
Yes, I help oversee and guide the training for our lifeguard program.
And for a lot of the lifeguards, right?
We train about 200 lifeguards a year.
Great.
Yep.
At that age, too?
Starting at 16.
Starting at 16. That's a lot. I read that that's a lot to do for a 16-year-old. That's not easy.
It's a huge responsibility, and it requires a lot of...
That he did it so well, right?
It requires a lot of integrity and resilience, and I think this particular rescue that Ryder performed really exemplifies what we're looking for in a state park lifeguard.
And you couldn't let go for an instant. If you let go for one instant, it'd be very hard to find, right?
Oh, absolutely. In those conditions, losing a victim would be disastrous.
Yeah, really amazing. You have no idea the respect. Joel, where's Joel? State Park Superintendent, lifeguard, Santa Cruz. Joel, thank you very much. That's dinner hour, right? Good job, Joel. And Mike McAnamy, State Park Superintendent, Santa Cruz. Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Well, we're honored to have all of you. And again, what you did was incredible, and everybody saw it. And you'd watch it over and over. I know when I first saw it, I said, roll that back. I want to see that again. Is that really happening? And both of you people have to be very proud. The whole group is proud. And your father is the happiest man in the world, you know that? Because I asked him a question. I said, so if that didn't happen, your life would be ruined. And you said, it would be a whole different life, right?
Absolutely.
Amazing.
No question. It's incredible what Ryder did. I'm just beyond grateful to him and Aaron and the rest of the team and even the Good Samaritans that were there. I mean, it's just such a privilege to be sitting next to him today.
Yeah.
And be able to celebrate his birthday tomorrow.
And I'll bet you'll stay a little bit related to this group of people.
Absolutely.
Because you realize what a fantastic job they did.
We're a great
Probably,
family.
you know, it's interesting because they're saying that you have in that area so many different saves. You saying that night you helped somebody out. Maybe not to that extent, but you helped somebody out. But maybe lifeguards don't get the credit they deserve. This really showed how important it is. And certain areas. So certain areas of the country, you could say, are just very susceptible to people getting in trouble, right? And was this one of the worst on the state, on that entire coast? I mean, do you have other areas? Because that looks like a very dangerous place, the way those waves, on a beautiful day, right?
The characteristics on that given day made it a little more difficult. You know, it was a warm day, so there's lots of folks on the beach recreating, and then combine it with that large surf and the strong currents that we had in the area made it treacherous. But California's coastline is very diverse, and we have very remote and rugged sections of coastline that our lifeguards work on every day.
Do you have areas where you don't have lifeguards that are very dangerous and people innocently go swimming and they don't have a chance, probably, right?
There certainly are unguarded areas within the state and around the nation, and you know, people getting in without the knowledge or ability to recreate in those waters can be extremely dangerous.
And you have a lot of that. Is this one of the more dangerous areas, the swirl?
I would say it's, during the summer months, it's one of our more dangerous summer beaches, yes.
Yeah, it looked amazing, and it didn't stop. You know, the water came in and just keep coming. It was, and it looked like you were almost on shore, but you weren't really on shore.
It's deceptive.
It was a fantastic thing. Do you have any questions?
Mr. President,
Mr. President. Congratulations, and congratulations on being honored here, Mr.
Let's
Williams.
keep the questions for them just for this, and then we can ask a couple later. Go ahead,
Thank
please.
you, Mr. President. So thank you for doing this. First
Good,
of all,
sure.
what do you hope young Americans in our country take away from this incredible young man's
That's
story?
a great question. I mean, look, they're going to look up to Ryder. They're going to look up to Nathaniel, the way Nathaniel handled it. He was cool considering the problems I was watching. You were very cool, and they're going to gain respect. I think, very importantly, they're going to gain respect for what these people do, having to do with lifeguards and having to do with safety. This was an unbelievable experience. Anybody watching, it's not my world, but I respect that world. I always had, but never maybe so much as I do now. So I thought you bring, to your profession, to what you do and what you do so well, you brought tremendous grace and experience, really tremendous grace, tremendous a feeling that it's so amazing to see this happen, to see it before your eyes. And I don't think any other, I've seen surfs, I've seen rescues before, I've never seen anything quite like this. It's been a great thing for your profession, and people are going to respect it even more, respect you even more. So I just thought it was really a very worthwhile event to have it at the Oval Office. So congratulations.
Mr. President,
okay, so I actually have a question.
If you don't mind, can I have a question for the young gentleman as
Go ahead,
well?
sure.
So first of all, a lot of people are very inspired by what you did. Can you tell us what was going through your mind at those dangerous moments, and what would you like to do in the future? How has this experience as a lifeguard shaped you?
In those dangerous moments that we have, we always try to fall back on our training. We are trained so well by many to handle that situation as best we can. So I really am just thinking about how to get the boy out of the water as fast as I can. And for shaping my future, I want to be a firefighter in the future, hopefully go through paramedic school. And
He's off to a good start. We'll give him recommendations. We may have some good recommendations. Go ahead.
That's all I have.
Can I? Sorry. First of all, thank you. You are an inspiration for all of us, I think, and especially you give us hope for your generation. And along those lines, do you have a message for your generation about service and what you're doing?
I hope that everybody can take away from this and try to help more people. Try to look out for everybody around you, and just try to help everybody out as much as you can.
What's the average age of a lifeguard in your area?
I'd say a lot of this last year, a lot of them were 16 to 17 years old.
And you have some that make it a profession, right?
Yes, sir.
A lot. So do you have 35, 40, 45-year-old?
Yes,
That's
sir.
great. And they lead a beautiful life on the surf, right?
Yes, sir.
And they would rather do nothing else,
Yes, sir.
right? That's very good. I think it's great.
Mr. President, on a different topic. Yesterday,
Well, wait,
John.
let's finish on this topic. This is very exciting to me.
Mr.
So, it's so
President.
exciting to see something like this happen. He's a real hero. When you see that, I don't know if I'd do it. I wouldn't probably. You're lucky I wasn't. You're lucky I wasn't on service that day. I don't know. But no, he's a real hero. It's an amazing thing. And he's a real lucky guy, too. God was watching you, right?
Yeah.
Great. Go ahead, please.
Mr. President, I do have a question about Iran, but I would like to ask you something about the rescue as well. Following this, there's been a push in Congress to officially affirm that open water lifeguards should be recognized as first responders. That would apparently really open up access to benefits, more federal programs. Would you support that push?
Well, I think they have gone a long way to get that done. It's something most people don't talk about. We have a lot of other things we talk about. And first time I've ever heard the question, but this is something that's been going on, I guess. Is that right? I'd like to put my weight behind it. So let's take a look at it. Very important. Yeah, I like the idea. Why do you ask that question? I mean, is this something that's been discussed very
Members
much?
of Congress have been talking about it in the wake of this
Well, I
rescue.
think
so,
in
yes.
the wake of what happened here, there's a possibility something like that would happen.
And Mr. President, your memorandum of understanding with Iran expires today. Are you any closer to reaching a final deal on ending Iran's nuclear
Let's
program
finish
today
up-
than you were 60 days ago?
Let's finish up with Ryder, and then when we're done, we'll answer a couple of those questions. Yeah?
Thank you, Mr. President, again. So for the young man and for those who trained him here, so as a parent, I'm very concerned when I see moments like those. What's your message to parents across the country who want to really improve their children's safety, especially when they're younger like this?
Well, I think you have to be going to the right beach, number one, and I think you have to have lifeguards around. Right, because you could go to that water. It looked so beautiful the day. It was such a beautiful day, everything nice. The water didn't look that bad, and then all of a sudden you see these violent waves come in. That's what amazed me so much. I studied it. I said, this is incredible. I've never seen that kind of roughness in water. I've seen tragic things happen, but I've never seen water that looks so calm, and then every 15 seconds, the violence comes back in. I think really you probably have areas, I'll bet you have areas that you think should have, as you call them, guards that don't have. Can you imagine having more guards along the coast, parts of the coast, that aren't guarded where people die?
Yeah, certainly. The National Water Safety Action Plan and the California State Action Plan both call for more supervision, and by supervision,
do we lose a lot of people due to lack of, covering an area?
It can be challenging in some of those spots because of the economy to live there is expensive. It's a coastal beach community, and there's $1 million homes on the beach, and our lifeguards are making a little more than minimum wage, but it can be challenging to live in those spaces, so it's hard to retain employees in those areas.
As the lifeguards grow older and they want to make that a profession, which is a noble profession, they make much higher salaries, right?
Yeah. Yes. If they become
they make a good living.
If they become a full-time lifeguard, which in our department requires you to become a peace officer.
I see. Okay. Well, that helps for that other question.
It does. That's a livable wage, and they can become members of the community and live where they're working and give back.
So will you be doing it? You helped so much with Ryder. Will you be doing it as a profession, or will you be doing other things later?
So I'm actually a full-time firefighter paramedic with a fire department in California, and I've stayed on the books with state parks because I owe this program a lot, and it's done a lot for me.
Oh, that's great.
I love being here helping train people like Ryder, so I plan on staying around for a long time.
That's great. Good job. That's fantastic. Yeah, please.
Are you
Policy
okay?
question, Mr. President?
Go ahead.
Under the policy. There's a lot of debate right now about these license plate scanners that are going up across the country. They're called flock cameras. People are worried that the police might misuse them. Have you heard of them?
Yep.
Or what's your stance?
Well, it's being studied right now. You have pros and cons, right? It's being studied right now. We'll have an answer sort of as to our views on it over the next couple of weeks.
Mr. President, John Ossoff said you'd rather travel with your aide, Natalie Harp, and build the ballroom than do your job as president. What is your response, John Ossoff?
You mean Pee Wee Herman? Pee Wee Herman lookalike? No, I would much rather do other things. We're building a great facility here. We're fixing a White House that hasn't been taken care of. You can look at this. This room was a disgraceful situation, the Oval Office, and it was let go. The whole building, the White House, was let go. The exteriors were falling apart. The columns were falling apart. The whole place was a mess. In addition, they've been trying to get a ballroom for the last 150 years. And when I said I was going to build a ballroom, the military asked if they could see me. And they say, sir, we have an opportunity to go down deep into the ground and build a military facility to go to the White House and to go with all of Washington, D.C., which would be so valuable. And then they came up with the drone port on top, which would be a major drone port to protect the White House and all of D.C. And all of those things added up, and it became much more than just a ballroom. And I said to myself, wow, what an opportunity. I mean, if I was just going to build a ballroom, I could have had it built very quickly, because I build very well and very quickly. We went 5 stories down into the ground. We did a lot of tremendous things for the military, things that they could never get. They said, this is an opportunity that we have because you're building the ballroom, that if you would be willing to spend more time, we would love to be able. We've been trying to do this at the White House for many, many years, and they've been trying to have a ballroom at the White House for many, many years. Now, what happened is we used to use tents, and the tents are usually made of either a plastic material, or canvas. And they wouldn't stop a .22 caliber. They wouldn't stop anything in terms of safety. It'd be very dangerous. And they haven't used a tent for years. They haven't had any big, like we have President Xi coming on September 24th or so. I think it's September 24th. And we'd love to have 2,000 people coming to dinner and celebrating a nice evening, et cetera, but we only have a room that's going to hold 89 people, and 89 people is not appropriate. So Maybe more importantly, it's totally secure with bulletproof windows, bulletproof sides. It's drone-proof. It's missile every at the top of the line, and we need it. And especially with what's happened, unfortunately, to the world, you could say. Yeah.
So do you think on Oman this morning you said you would bomb the S out of Oman if they got in the way of reopening the Strait of Hormuz. Would you say you're out of patience with Oman, a strategic partner?
No, I don't think they behaved very well, but we'd handle them very easily, just like we do other things.
Mr. President, I have actually two questions. There was a report by Center Square that nearly 24 Democratic attorney generals, months before your reelection, were basically planning already lawsuits against you, and wanted to see what your comment is on that. Second question.
Well, I heard about that. I'm not surprised because they've weaponized this country like never before. The Democrats, or the Democrats as they call them, they've weaponized the country like nobody's ever seen anything like it. When you see the reports that are coming out now, that you would have never seen if I had not won the election in a landslide, but you would have never seen it if I didn't win the election. But the reports that you see coming out now and the kind of illegal activity that they used on the 2020 election and beyond is earth-shattering. These are very dishonest people, so I wouldn't be surprised to hear that.
Sorry, this is on D.C. You have mentioned before if the Democrats get in again, that they may eliminate the filibuster next time and make D.C. a state. A while back, Senator Mike Lee had floated an idea.
It wouldn't be a state. It wouldn't be. I mean, if we're talking about us, we have, as you know, a very radically left person elected mayor, who I haven't met. I'm sure she's very nice, but very, very, very radical left. And we would have to federalize D.C. You know, we've made D.C. great. When I got here, it was a very dangerous capital. I would have said to Ryder, don't come, it's too dangerous. Now I can say you can walk down the street, you can grab Nathaniel and all your friends, you can walk in, you're going to be very safe. But if you were here a year and a half ago, the numbers were horrible. The crime stats, the murders, the death, the drug dealing, everything was. We have one of the safest. We've taken it from one of the most unsafe cities in the country to as safe a city as there is. Amazing what's happened to Washington, and it's our capital. We have to have a safe capital. And we did it through a lot of different reasons, but we also put the National Guard here. But in addition to that, the cleanliness, the new grass, the graffiti's all gone. We fixed up 82 monuments, fountains, and other things. The places, and when you see it in 6 months from now, it's going to be even beyond that. We're proud of our capital. I think these things are important. Whether you build, whether you do something to fix the White House, where, you know, now they've never had a real estate developer, a good one, a real good one here before. They might not ever have one again. But, you know, fixing up our great capital is a very important thing. I think it's very important psychologically. It's very important from the standpoint of people being able to come to the country and not get murdered in the capital. People would come here. We had one of the worst, one of the most unsafe cities in the country. Now we have one of the safest. Just to finish, we had a real problem with restaurants. Nobody wanted to have restaurants, entrepreneurs, restaurant entrepreneurs. Now you can't get space. Every restaurant is packed. The place is booming. People aren't going to get mugged and raped and beat to hell and shot and killed in Washington, D.C. One of the safest places. Crime is down 84%, and I did that in a short period of time. It's also down in Memphis, where we went specifically, and it's also down in New Orleans. I was asked by the governor, could I do something, because they were having Mardi Gras. It was very bad, and they had the best Mardi Gras they've ever had, the safest Mardi Gras that they've ever had. And we could do it in New York, we could do it in California, we could do it in Chicago if we were asked to do it. But the crime stats in the whole country, we have down 15, 16, 70%, a record.
Why hasn't Kim Jong-un responded to your request to have a conversation?
How do you know he hasn't responded?
Has he?
Yeah, he has.
Did you speak to
Where are you in conversation?
That's very positive. Well, just so you understand with South Korea, look, South Korea has been protected by us for many, many years. And during my first term, they agreed to pay close to $3 billion a year for protection. because we don't, they essentially weren't paying. And I asked them to do that at my request. I said, not right. They weren't happy about it, but they agreed. I asked for $10 billion, and they were very unhappy. But we agreed for a short term that it would be $3 billion, and next year it would go up, and the next year it would go up, so they start paying for their protection. When the election was rigged and I ended up watching for 4 years and then coming back, I watched Biden rescind that $3 billion for whatever reason. When I called recently the president of South Korea, who I think he's very nice actually, but I called him, I said, would you like to give us a little hand? We don't need help with Iran, but if you'd like, give us a hand with Iran. He said, no thanks. And I said, wait a minute, we have 39,000 soldiers over there guarding you from Kim Jong-un, your next door neighbor, and you're not going to help us on a very easy military operation in Iran? That's strange. No, we'd rather not get involved. I say, well, why are we involved in helping you? So, and I want to help them, but when you ask somebody, would you like to give us a hand, and they say, no thanks, and then we're guarding them from a country and paying ourselves billions of dollars, it's costing us billions and billions of dollars to protect not only them, but other countries. Look at NATO. We spend hundreds of billions of dollars protecting Europe from Russia. Hundreds of billions, mostly from Russia, but from other things too. And then they say, well, they don't want to get involved with guarding the strait where they get most of their oil. They get 50% of their oil, and they don't want to get involved. Why are we doing it? So all I want is fairness. And South Korea, I get along with them very well, but they were paying $3 billion a year, and then they convinced Biden that I was probably a bad person and they shouldn't, and he immediately rescinded that order. So we were getting paid. We would have been getting paid a lot more, but we can't go around and protect all of these countries, especially when they're not there to help us.
On the expiration of the Memorandum of Understanding, are you any closer today to reaching a final deal to end Iran's nuclear program?
Well, they want to make a deal, but they're not going to make the kind of a deal that I feel is necessary. Look, we're in there for one reason. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. You understand that? Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon, and they won't have a nuclear weapon. And right now, them building one after what we did previously with the B-2 bombers, going to be a long time behalf. But Iran cannot have. It's very simple. They can't have a nuclear weapon.
How do you respond to folks who say that you are prioritizing the interest of adversaries in North Korea over our longtime partners by scaling back these military exercises?
No, I'm making it much safer. You see, I'm actually making it much safer. Kim Jong-un has always treated me with great respect, and we met on numerous occasions, actually, 2 primary occasions, spoken and spent time. I understand him, he understands me. You're doing war games. I get along with him. He didn't like Biden, he didn't like Obama, he didn't like anybody. But I get along with him very well. No, what I'm doing is making things safer. Just the opposite.
Did he ask you to scale back on those?
Quiet. You're very disrespectful in front of this young man. Okay? Don't you find her disrespectful? He understands. Quiet. Who are you with?
I'm with CNN.
Fake news. You're fake news. You're a loud, boisterous person. You're fake news. Be quiet. Be quiet. Be quiet. You're a fake reporter, and you report fake news. Go ahead.
Mr. President, is there enough food on the USS Lincoln?
Yeah, it is. That was a CNN fake report. The Lincoln has been out there for a period of time, good period of time. But over the years, we've had them out there much longer. I was at a group meeting, and an admiral came up to see me over the weekend. And it was at a big group, and he happened to be an admiral retired. He said, I've been on ships that are out there much longer than that, sir. And I know people on the Lincoln, they say it's beautifully maintained and beautifully taken care of. And other people went out and they found out to be true. It was fake news reporting from CNN.
Mr. President, there was a report that a senior intelligence official with the CCP just bought a historical building overlooking the White House. Have you heard about this? Do you have a reaction to that?
Mr. President.
Mr. President, yes, Mr. President.
Yeah,
go ahead, behind you.
Okay. The British Prime Minister recently reportedly sent text to someone impersonating Susie Wiles. Are you concerned about his judgment or the state of communications between the two countries?
No, but who happened? What happened? They sent text?
Apparently the Prime Minister sent text to somebody impersonating Susie Wiles, and it was...
No, I'm sure that he had a miscommunication.
Mr. President.
He's the Prime Minister.
Mr. President.
You know, I spoke to him. We had a good conversation, a couple of them. We had a good conversation. One of the things he is going to do, I think he's going to open up the North Sea. That'll make UK pretty rich, I'll tell you.
Mr. President.
If he opened up the North Sea, now he's got an immigration problem and he has an energy problem. He would have solved one of his problems. That would be a big thing. That would make UK rich. If you open up the North Sea, it's one of the great finds anywhere in the world. And if they would open up the North Sea, UK would be rich again.
Mr. President. Yes, Mr. President. Have the people who
Don't you find them nice? Huh? Nice people, right? Look at him. He's saying, where do people like this come from?
We're not all
Your son is saying, where do people like this come from? Go ahead.
The people who are opposing,
Especially
the people who are opposing the ballroom and challenging it, have they offered any sort of solution or sort of compromise, or do they just say there should be a hole there?
The people that are opposing the ballroom are people that, in my opinion, are very disloyal to our country, very, very disloyal to our country. And I think we're doing very well. We're way ahead of schedule. We're under budget. It's going to be the most beautiful ballroom of its kind. You know, when I was in China, we went to the Great Hall of China. It was this big, beautiful building, and we don't have anything like that. And we have to have that. It's very important. But we also are getting tremendous military protection, drone protection. The building is drone-proof. It's missile-proof as much as something can be missile-proof. It's totally bulletproof. Any bullet, nothing can go through the windows. We have, you know, all top-of-the-line stuff. It's very safe. And you know, the one thing, it's not for me, because I'm going to be here a very short period of time. When it's finished, if it finishes right on time, on budget, on time, I'll be there for 4, 5, 6 months. This is for future presidents. This isn't for me. This is for future presidents. And it's a gift. We're making a gift to our country, spending hundreds of millions of dollars to build a ballroom. And it's a gift from great patriots of this country. From, as an example, I mean, I'll give you names. I released some of the names. In fact, I wanted to put them out today, but we got a little busy. And this was, frankly, being with this group of people was very important to me. But we'll be putting them out, some of the people that contributed. But this is a gift to the United States of America. No taxpayer money is necessary. And you can have the finest ballroom anywhere in the world. It's not something I wanted to do, but it's something that's needed. And again, I'm not going to get to use it very much, because by the time it's completed, I'll have 4 or 5 months left, 3 months, who knows. But we're ahead of schedule. It's going to be the best of it in the world, of its kind in the world. There'll be nothing like it in the world. It fits beautifully with the White House. It's gotten fantastic reviews, architectural reviews. People think it's incredible. And when you see it, you'll say, wow, that's really something. And that's what the United States is all about. We have to have that. But in addition to the ballroom, we're building a great military complex. The people that started the lawsuit, the head person, I believe, was fired. And she was fired from another event just before that. And she's the one that started it. It's the National Trust, but the National Trust for Historic Preservation. Now, they say it's a United States. They use the word United States, but it's not related to the United States. In fact, the United States doesn't even contribute to it. It has nothing to do with it. It stopped contributing when they realized there were nothing but troublemakers. Years ago, it stopped contributing. So this isn't like an official United States bureau, a United States agency. They stopped contributing to the National Trust. And it's called the National Trust. It has this great name, National Trust for Historic Preservation. They're a bunch of troublemakers that the United States, many years ago, long before me, stopped contributing to. The woman that started it was fired. She's no longer there. So this is the remnants of it. And the bottom line is they're trying to stop something, and they won't be successful, but they're trying to stop something that's almost completed. When they brought a suit, why didn't they bring the suit a year before? Why did they bring the suit in the middle of construction when $400 million almost is spent on its construction? Why wouldn't they have started the suit a year early? Everybody knew it was going to be. It was no secret. Everybody knew that it was taking place. So they should have done that. But the National Trust is very disloyal to the country because they reveal things. You know, I said the problem with the suit, I told them this, is that we have many military things in this ballroom. And ideally, they shouldn't be revealed. But now they are revealed, so the world knows about it. That's okay. They shouldn't have done it. They're very disloyal. But I think we're doing really well. We're way ahead of schedule. And many presidents are going to use it for many years to come. The country will have one of the greatest gifts it's ever received. One more.
Last week you said that you would soon declare the Strait of Hormuz to be a territory of the United States. Could you elaborate?
Well, I just think it's a great idea. Yeah, I mean, we control it. We control it with the blockade. We have a blockade. We control it with the blockade. And I like the idea of declaring it a territory. We have total control over the strait. Now, they can be a nuisance. They can put a mine in the water, and people don't like having mines hit their billion-dollar ships, et cetera. But the blockade has been very effective. And, we're taking out, now maybe that will stop, or maybe it'll open up even further, but we're taking out millions of barrels of oil a week. If you look at the kind of numbers that the strait is open, and the oil prices are coming down, and they will continue to come down unless we decide to do something far more drastic than we're doing. Iran is in big trouble. They have 300% inflation. The country's a mess, and the military is totally defeated. Thank you very much, everyone.
Are you seeking an extension to the MOU?
Thank you.
Just imagine sitting there and you are an American hero, a lifeguard, right? And then you hear the president talk about the fake news report to CNN. I mean, that is epic. What a memory that is for Ryder Williams there. As the president fielded questions from the press at the White House. And a shout out to all of our great first responders, including lifeguards and 911 operators out there, as President Trump honored American hero lifeguard Ryder Williams today inside the Oval Office. We played the actual clip of the rescue a few times, but let's play it one more time, just a few seconds of it, as this happened just last month when Ryder Williams stepped into action. Take a look. All right, so that was just a bunch of different cuts of the video, of course, but yeah, that heavy situation there when it comes to the amount of wind and the ocean just bearing down on that situation, but thank God that kid's alive. This live stream brought to you by a number of great sponsors, including MyPillow.com/RSBN. If you're looking for some quality products, that's a spot to find it, MyPillow.com/RSBN. Of course, use the RSBN promo code. Get a deep discount on quality products. That's a win-win. Definitely good stuff there. MyPillow.com/RSBN. Let's shift over. If you'd like to donate to Right Side, all you have to do is go to RSBNetwork.com/donate. RSBNetwork.com/donate. For all of us here at Right Side Broadcasting Network, thanks so much for watching this entire live stream. We started at about 12 o'clock Eastern Time, and that event opened up at about 1 o'clock, so great to have that here on the network. We'll see you guys tomorrow, unless there's any major breaking news from now until then. My name is Matthew Alvarez. We'll see you later.